My name is Martina Wise and I have recently passed the SQE in the top quintile for all assessments on my first attempt. I have now been admitted to the role of solicitors. My undergrad degree was in English literature, so after graduating I completed the Graduate Diploma in Law, the Law Conversion course. After that I completed a master's degree in criminal law and then started working as a paralegal. The firm I was working for at the time sponsored me to go through the CILEX route to qualification. After qualifying as a chartered legal exec, I then specialised in litigation. I am now a solicitor in the litigation and employment team at Tozers in Exeter and deal predominantly with property litigation matters. Although chartered legal execs are gaining wider recognition within the profession now, I found that lay people are not particularly familiar with the third branch of qualified lawyer. I had always intended to cross-qualify as a solicitor, but decided to await the introduction of the SQE rather than doing the LPC, as it seemed a more efficient route, both in terms of time and cost. As I was part of the first cohort to undertake the SQE, it was a completely unknown quantity and I didn't want to be confronted with any nasty surprises. Although I was fairly confident that I would be able to pass the exams as I was practicing law, or more accurately, other people said I should be confident, I wanted to know exactly what knowledge and skills I needed to demonstrate in order to pass, and to pass first time. I decided to take the preparation course with QLTS school, as I knew that the SQE was going to be based on the Qualified Lawyers Transfer Scheme, and I knew that QLTS school previously specialised in providing preparation courses for those exams. QLTS was also the most competitively priced preparation course on the market. I found studying with QLTS school to be an extremely beneficial experience. The resources provided for SQE1 covered everything that I needed for the exams. The combination of both hard copy textbooks and the online resources was extremely useful. The practical courses and exercises for SQE2 were also extremely valuable and helped me to gauge how well prepared I was for the exams and what areas needed extra work. I thought that it was also a really good idea to have the different tiers of preparation materials so candidates could pick the package that best suited them. This meant that all levels of experience were catered for appropriately. I would recommend QLTS's preparation course to anyone planning on sitting the SQE. I found the large bank of multiple choice questions to be the most beneficial thing. Lots of the other candidates that I spoke to following the SQE1 assessments commented that the questions in the exam were significantly more difficult than the ones that their preparation courses had provided. Not QLTS school, I hasten to add. I found the practice questions provided by QLTS to be pitched at exactly the right level, being the same level of difficulty as those on the actual exam, so there were no nasty surprises. In fact, some of QLTS's practice questions were on the actual exam, so that was a pleasant surprise. I was on maternity leave when I started studying for SQE1, so managed to get in a lot of studying when my baby took his naps, probably 2 to 3 hours per day in the 3 months leading up to the multiple choice exams. I took the weekends off as I was tired. I had a newborn. I had returned to work full-time by the time it came to study for SQE2, so I had less time to dedicate to studying. I probably spent about 1 hour per evening in the 3 months leading up to the exams, but as the SQE2 exams are skills-based, my day-to-day work was also good preparation for the exams. I wasn't working at Tozers when I studied for and took the SQE exams, but I currently have some colleagues who are going through the process, and Tozers is being extremely supportive of them. Tozers prides itself on being a thoughtful employer, so it's passionate about staff well-being and encouraging training and development initiatives. Although it was fairly nerve-wracking entering completely uncharted territory with the SQE, I did feel well prepared. I knew exactly what knowledge and skills I needed to demonstrate in order to pass, and felt that QLTS made everything very clear and easy to understand. As I said earlier, although chartered legal execs are getting more recognition within the profession now, some legal execs are now judges and partners in law firms, I still feel as though legal execs and solicitors do not have the same standing, whether consciously or subconsciously. I therefore felt that it was necessary to cross-qualify as a solicitor by completing the SQE, so that I can progress more easily in my career. I personally feel that a preparation course is essential for the SQE. Like any exam, you need to prepare well in order to do well. Particularly as the SQE is in its infancy, it's vital that candidates know exactly what is expected of them. Really, only a preparation course can provide this. I can't emphasise enough that for SQE1, you simply cannot do enough multiple choice practice papers. Do all of the practice questions available to you, and then do them again, and again, and again. And when you're absolutely sick of the sight of practice questions and feel like you simply can't do anymore, do them again. It'll pay off. And don't immediately jettison all of the knowledge crammed in for SQE1 once the exams are over, as you'll also need a lot of it for SQE2. In other words, don't make the same mistake I did. Although SQE2 is skills-based, you will also need a fairly comprehensive knowledge of the black letter law for the exams. So particularly if you're planning on taking a break between SQE1 and SQE2, make sure that you keep returning to the course books or revision notes or whatever you use to prepare for SQE1 in the intervening time. When you should start preparing for the assessments depends entirely upon your level of experience. If you're straight out of university, having studied a non-law subject, you may need a year or more to prepare for the exams. On the other hand, those in practice who have previously studied law will need less time. It's almost entirely subjective. I'd say 4 things. 1, almost as important as knowing the law, I strongly feel that clients need to know their lawyers are human, so be open and show understanding and compassion. Particularly in the post-pandemic world, it's important to be flexible and adapt to client requirements. 2, even though you're a qualified lawyer, don't feel like you know everything or should know everything. Always ask questions, it's how you learn and develop. I'm lucky that I have many experienced and incredibly knowledgeable lawyers in my team at Tozers, who I can always go to for advice and guidance, and I do, a lot. 3, look after your mental health. Law is a very rewarding profession, but it can be stressful and demanding. Be mindful of when you're feeling stressed and take steps to relax and look after yourself. And don't ever be afraid to seek help if you're feeling overwhelmed. And 4, try to find employment in a firm which suits your values and ethos. Tozers is a mindful employer, engages in lots of charitable work and work within the community, and has green credentials, so I'm proud to work here. It makes a huge difference to your work life when you respect the firm you work for.